Hey gamers, this is Maniac with Game Access doing the extremely anticipated and much delayed top 5 in Halo Reach cutscenes. Now there are going to be a few rules based upon this. First off, there will be spoilers in this video. If you are watching the video right now and you haven't played through the game and you want to, turn it off right now. Just stop watching because we're going to be just showing you a lot of clips that you might not want to see. That having been said, any scene is fair game. Will be graded based upon how they were normally graded in the previous videos. Dialogue, music, and setting are all still on the list. However, nostalgia obviously can't really be on the list because this is a game that was released 2 weeks ago, so it's not very nostalgic for all of us yet. But that having been said, this will be certainly very difficult to do. So I want all of you to just kick back, relax, and enjoy top 5 in Halo Reach cutscenes. And we're up to number 5. And number 5 is Cat's Plan. This is a great scene to open it up with because I really appreciated this scene a lot. We got to see the Spartan dynamic and how they interacted with each other very well. In the field basis and not so much from an introductory basis. We got to see how they interacted with each other under pressure. We also got to see some really interesting, conversation where Kat has got a knife out and she grabs somebody's knife and she starts sketching out a whole plan for how to bring down a Covenant ship in the first place. And this is literally a battle plan that's being done on the spot that she has created. There's no authorization for it. She's the one creating it. She's doing it, and she's able to come up with a fantastic plan almost entirely on the spot based upon her field experience. If only people did this actually in the field, we might actually seriously. I mean, do people in war actually do this kind of stuff? I would be interested to know if they actually did, because it would probably be useful. So. It's a great scene. You got to see how the dynamic worked between the Spartans. You got to see Kat. It was a real standout scene for Kat. There certainly. It's a great moment. So that is why it is number 5.
Our foe is more devious than we imagined. That spire was indeed a teleporter linked to a cloaked Covenant supercarrier. A grave threat. Thankfully, help is imminent. 60% of the UNSC fleet is en route to Reach from existing deployments. The first battle group should arrive within 48 hours.
48 hours? That's imminent? Uh-oh. Who's your money on this time?
Her.
You always pick her.
She's always had him dialed in.
That thing's crushing us and we're waiting for backup. They'll be backing up a graveyard.
All our nukes are either out system or went down with the ships that carried them. You're preaching to the converted.
How converted?
I know that look, Kat.
You can say no.
No.
You don't even want to hear it?
Fine, I'll hear it.
Remember that accident a couple years back? Colony ship en route to Cygnus, 700 dead.
Vaguely a slip space drive malfunction, right?
Actually, it worked fine. The drive was mounted improperly after a service haul-out. When it fired, it teleported half the ship to oblivion.
This is relevant. How?
A certain Covenant supercarrier could, with some assistance, suffer the same unfortunate accident.
Even for you, Kat, that's...
Inspired?
Not the word I would use.
What's going on?
Go ahead. Explain.
May I?
Don't cut yourself.
Objective: destroy Covenant carrier in geosynchronous orbit above us.
This sanctioned, sir.
What do you think?
Oh.
Method: a slip space drive in lieu of the nukes we don't have. Delivery system: us. Solvable: getting us up there. That and getting our hands on a slip space drive. Thank you for sharing.
So, all we need is orbit-capable transport and the single most expensive piece of equipment made by man.
As a soldier in the field, I couldn't possibly have access to those kinds of resources. That said, a good place to look might be, I don't know, The nearest non-existent launch site in the non-existent Sabre program, dismissed by 3 administrations as preposterous rumor, and in which our newest member was certainly never a pilot.
You're scary. You know that.
All we need is a green light from Holland.
Good luck with that.
You're the one asking him.
Well, there's no way in hell he's gonna go for this.
Bit of a hike to the launch facility.
Any closer, it's too hot to land.
Copy that, Commander.
Move up the beach, Noble.
And we're up to number 4. And number 4 is the Sabre launch. And I have to say, based upon watching this scene, Apollo 13, the movie, not the crew, can eat its heart out. This was a great scene. I have to say, I'm a bit of a space enthusiast. I'm a big rocket aficionado. I love watching the launches. Only once in my life I ever got to see an actual space shuttle launch, but I love watching a lot of the old documentaries about the old Apollo rocket launches, and I loved watching, the miniseries From the Earth to the Moon. So I know how rockets work. I know how like a space shuttle works. I know about rocket fuel and everything else. And when I saw this bit, and they did such a great job to kind of make it look like a real rocket launch would look. They had the cameras on the fuselages and everything, and then on the tanks and everything else, watching how all the things break off from the thing just to get it out of the atmosphere of the planet. It was an extremely, extremely plausible scene, and it was a great moment where you got to feel like you were an astronaut in space. Great moment. And I just want to say, NASA, get on that. I want to see those things up in space. Start making those Sabres, actually, and putting them out. I want to see big space fighters and stuff like that. I think we're due for space fighters, don't you, everybody? So it's a great moment. It doesn't really have that much dialogue. It's all about the music and it's all ambiance. Doesn't need dialogue. It just to say it's just a status, everything else. It very much felt like one of those scenes, and I love those kind of bits so much. That is why it is number 4.
Struts disengaged. Commencing launch in T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2.
First stage engine burn nominal. Stage separation in 3, 2, 1. Stage separation. Second stage ignition confirmed.
And we're up to number 3. And number 3 is the death of George. This is a great scene. Particularly because it had such a great dialogue. It was so well done by the guys, by the voice actor who played George. It was so well animated by the animators. For me, it was really the dialogue and what George says just before he dies and everything else, he says, "Okay, I got some good news and I got some bad news. The good news is like, so what's the good news? That was the good news." And it just begs the question also when he mentions Chernobyl 6 that, yeah, the timer's fried, so somebody has to stay behind. And I'm thinking, nobody thought to pack a spare timer? Hasn't anybody seen the movie Armageddon? I mean, seriously, you always are supposed to pack a second timer. Seriously, and also, if the timer was broken, and this is just my opinion, if the timer was broken, wouldn't that break the bomb as well? I mean, a bomb is a hell of a lot easier to break than just a simple timer. But, okay, apparently the bomb survived, it's just the timer that was broken. So, of course, even though the timer was broken, somehow you can just push a button and the bomb will still go off. Okay. And so George has to stay behind. But that all aside, it had a great moment, George saying, okay, the only way off of this pile is gravity. So what's the good news? Oh, that was the good news. The bad news is that somebody has to stay behind, and it's going to be me. Don't stop me from this, and then at the very end, he gives him his dog tags, which is, again, a very important bit that I really liked. I really always have been a fan of military dog tags. I've always liked that. Ever since the original Metal Gear Solid, I always thought that dog tags were something very, very cool, very important. And so I kind of have a sort of a collection of dog tags. And that really meant a lot that really actually resonated with me as well. It was a great moment. It was an epic death for George, and that is why it is number 3.
Distance is closing on this vessel's refueling track with the Covenant supercarrier. 76 seconds to endpoint.
So, it's gonna be like that. Well, I got good news and bad news. This bird took some fire and her thruster gimbal is toast, which means the only way off this slag heap is gravity.
And the good news?
That was the good news.
At current velocity, 53 seconds to endpoint.
Yeah. Bad news is, timer's fried. I'm gonna have to fire it manually.
That's a one-way trip.
We all make it sooner or later. Better get going, Six. They're gonna need you down there. Listen, Reach has been good to me. Time has come to return the favor. Don't deny me this. Tell him to make it count.
Slip space rupture detected.
Gamma station control, reading multiple pings below the orbital defense
Slip
grid.
space rupture detected.
Yeah, we're picking up anomalies too. Are you reading
Slip
it?
space rupture
Multiple
detected.
Covenant signatures.
Slip space
Does anyone
rupture
have a
detected.
They're everywhere!
Slip space rupture
Must be
detected.
the whole damn Covenant
Slip
fleet.
space rupture detected.